It's a marvelous Monday morning here on Now. Lisa alongside Rishi and Carrie, and it's time for a regular segment, TTPS Update. In studio with us, Inspector Sheridan Hill. Good morning.
Good morning, Lisa.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine.
What are we talking about this morning?
This morning we're talking about accidents and the responsibility of drivers as well as persons in those vehicles when there's an accident on the road.
So what's the first responsibility?
So the first responsibility is to render aid. Render aid to the injured, and if necessary, you take those persons to the hospital.
Okay.
Right? That's the first responsibility.
I have a question when it comes to that. So if you're in a dangerous area, you know, there are certain areas across Trinidad and Tobago that we consider to be dangerous. So, for example, you get into an accident. I'm just using this as an example.
Don't call any area.
Based on recent time.
At
You know,
risk.
do we come out and render assistance? Or do we go to the police station and make a report? What do we do in a situation where we consider the place to be risky?
Well, putting on my lawyer's cap, everything has to be reasonable in the circumstances.
Yeah.
But reasonable
So
is subjective.
Yes, I understand, but it has to be reasonable.
Yeah.
So you get into an accident, someone is injured, seriously injured, and needs medical attention, and you just drive off. Just
So
like
this is an accident. The person in your vehicle or in the other vehicle or just around?
in anybody who is injured in the accident.
Okay.
So it's not just someone in your vehicle, but it's somebody in the other vehicle as well,
So
as well as other persons.
So this is you if you're passing and you see an accident to stop, or this is you're
All right,
speaking
so
to the person who is in the accident?
Okay, so it's the persons who involved in the accident.
Okay.
But of course, I
If
know
you're a good
as
Samaritan.
good, exactly,
Yeah.
we're good citizens. We will.
I know that in certain countries, it's actually law that if an accident occurs, that bystanders or people who saw the accident, it is law for them to actually go and assist. Is that the same for Trinidad and Tobago?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
And the other thing too is that sometimes the paramedics, well, I don't think we have paramedics, but you know what I mean.
The EHS persons.
Yes, they would tell you, do not touch the person because you may cause
More
further
harm than
harm,
good.
more harm, because you don't know how to lift them also, depending on the injury.
Yeah, but while I understand that, I mean, it depends on the situation. You see
Yeah.
someone seriously injured, it's going to take some time before the EHS and the other response personnel arrive. Take the persons to the hospital.
Okay. Okay.
That is new information to me.
Me too.
That is new
yeah.
information.
And take the
I thought the
persons
first thing that you do if you're in an accident, you can't. If it's a bad accident, you contact the police and the
Yeah.
emergency officials
I
to
really
come on
thought
down
so
there
as well.
and.
But rendering aid is your first responsibility.
Okay.
And it depends on the circumstances.
And what's the second responsibility?
You exchange the information. So you exchange the particulars of your driver's permit to the driver of the other vehicle or anybody else in that other vehicle who requests that information.
Okay.
You exchange your information.
So when does the reporting of the accident come into play?
Well, that's the third.
Oh, wow.
That's the third.
I always thought that was the first
I
one.
thought so. I thought so.
So you get in an accident, we have to be practical. We
Yeah.
have to be reasonable. You get in an accident, someone is seriously injured, they need help. You drive off and you head to the nearest police officer in uniform or to the nearest station.
Okay.
Of course, you render aid.
But if it's a accident and there's no injury to the person or to yourself, then you would bypass the first one, obviously. You get to the
Yeah,
second
but there's
one,
no need for the
exchange,
first one.
and then
Exactly,
you go. Yeah, so which is
exactly.
why we probably
But I'm
think they-
always
Exactly.
concerned about that. You know, when you come out, the other person might be more vexed than you.
Oh.
And then that can become an abusive situation there.
Well, again, it has to be reasonable and in the circumstances. So if you come out and that is what's happening, then you probably have a justification for
To
not
go back in your vehicle and drive off?
Exactly.
And then go straight to the police station.
Exactly. First police officer you see in uniform.
So a police officer told me once that it's against the law not to report an accident. Is that true?
That is true. I can read you the law here just in case.
I think your word for it. I think your word for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you fail to report an accident,
Yeah.
or not just the accident, the other two your other two responsibilities. So if you fail to do those, they are all offenses.
Right.
So you have a duty to render aid.
And Inspector Hill, what are these offenses punishable by?
Well, the law states any person who contravenes this section, and that's the three subsections, is guilty of an offense. and it's a traffic offense. It's
Traffic
not a
offense,
very
okay.
serious, a very serious offense. So it depends on the
But
the
if
magistrate.
you drive off and the other person dies, though, then it becomes a different offense, or is it still?
No,
a
well,
traffic offense?
that's
the
different. That's a
key.
result of the
Yeah,
accident.
Yeah.
It's not that you drove off and the person died. Someone died in the accident. Then it depends on the investigation.
Okay.
The officer who conducts the investigation to see where blame or is attributed and so on. Yeah, so it all depends on that.
Interesting
learned something this
information.
morning.
I have so many questions to ask on this topic.
Yeah.
I mean, we may not have all the time
One
to
more,
do
one more.
All right. So in the case of insurance, we all know that it's illegal to drive without
That was going
insurance.
through my head.
Oh.
Now, there have been situations. I've been in a situation where I had gotten into a minor accident, and the person did not have insurance. They did not have their insurance. They, mind you, I did hit from behind. So generally, the right is given to the person
In front,
but they did not have insurance. So how do you deal with something like that?
but the person will be charged.
That the person without insurance
Without
will be
insurance,
charged?
yes.
And what happens, like, so in my case, what happens to me,
But you were
like,
wrong.
generally I was wrong.
So you would
So
still
you were
have
wrong.
to fix the vehicle?
Yeah, you were
Okay.
wrong.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so it's two different cases.
yeah.
No getting away there. I think Harry was trying to pull a fast one there, you know. He was
No,
doing
that was
a
years
fast
ago,
one.
you know. So what I want to know,
But let me also
understand.
mention that you have to be reasonable. So you get into an accident, you don't stay in the middle of the road and
Right.
cause obstruction.
Oh my!
Yeah.
People
So
do
that's
that,
the-
and
yeah.
it is annoying.
I
Why
just-
would
I just
people
want to
do
mention
that?
that as well.
Yeah.
You just got a
But then
little
if
Yeah.
scrape.
No, but that's if it's a accident. But if it's a major,
major accident is different.
I thought you had to wait until the police come to, to survey the circumstances before you actually move the vehicles. This isn't a major accident. Or do you attempt
but-
to move the vehicles without police coming and
Well,
investigating?
again, it depends because you have the two parties in the accident. And the two parties, in addition to the other persons, they will be interviewed, they will take statements, will be recorded. And today we have something called CCTV. So in addition to the statements, you also have you may also have witnesses to the accident as well as the CCTV. And almost everybody has a cell phone with a camera.
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
Always take a picture.
So
Just one last quick question.
Yes.
Sure.
If somebody gives you wrong information, license, insurance, whatever.
Yeah.
if
Fake
let's say somebody
information.
gives you wrong
The other
you-
party gives you fake
So you
information.
got into an accident, you ask the person for their information, license information or
Yeah,
whatever.
but I always take a picture of their license, So unless they have a fake license, right?
No, the
That's a
law
whole
says
other
you should give it, I mean, it's implied here that you give the correct information. So
people are
it's
dishonest, you know.
likely, it is
Well,
likely
unless
that
you're driving with a fake driver's permit, I ask to take a picture
exactly.
of your
Why
driver's
would you
permit.
want to give false information?
They
so
might
that
be
the
a
person
crook.
can't find you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So most likely you'll be charged.
There you
Okay.
go.
Some
So you
That's
can
a
be
final
charged if
note.
you give wrong
Yeah,
information.
we got to leave it there, guys. We got to leave it there. Inspector Hill, thank you so much. And happy
My
Easter
pleasure.
to you because
Same
next
to
week,
you.
Monday, is Easter Monday. So we're not going to have a show. So we're not going to see you until the following Monday.
Yes, I'm sad, but I'm looking forward to following.
All right, we're going to take in a few messages and come right back after this.